So I have a question for the group.
Mm.
What's one thing that you don't admit to yourself or have trouble accepting?
Mortality.
Mm, that's a really good question.
That's a good question. Had to process so much of it. Oh, gosh,
We'll start with Blake.
Lucky.
Malaki.
Hmm.
Um, I think at least at this point in my life, my limitations are my biggest hang up right now.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard perfectionist, and the fact of the matter is that a lot of what I do now is very imperfect, so it's
Mm-hmm.
difficult.
Mm-hmm. That is a harsh look in the mirror, my friend. I am
Yes.
there with you.
Chris?
I'm probably going to have to agree with Blake. It's a limitations thing. It's realizing, and I say it a lot. You know, I say to myself, and I'm positive, and I'm like, well, yeah, we can still do the same stuff that we used to do. We just have to do it in a different way. But for God's sakes, man, I changed light bulbs in my car last weekend, and it took me an hour. And I mean, you know, I'm thinking about that, and like next weekend, I'm going to change road brakes. It's going to
Hey,
take.
somebody. Ask somebody else to do it for you.
I
So much easier.
can't. But I see. I like doing this stuff. It's the stuff that I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy doing, and the limitations. I mean, it's the fact that when is it going to be that I'm not going to be able to do that?
Mm.
You're never going to be good enough to get back what you've already lost.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I know that.
Right. Yeah, but knowing that is just
Yeah,
like,
I mean, when is
no
it
matter what
shut
I
off?
do, yeah.
When is it shut off completely to the fact that Chris can't go out and change the oil or tinker on the car, or,
Mm-hmm.
fix things or do whatever? When is it? And I mean, it goes back to Mel saying about mortality. When is it that my body does completely betray me because of the dopamine deficiency? And what happens then? I don't want to think about it, truth be told, because
Mm-mm.
you know I don't I kind of know what it looks like,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to envision myself there.
But do you think that's kind of part of the entire human existence?
Yeah,
Because it's that loss of being
dependence,
able to do everything at a high level,
right? Yeah,
being proficient, being perfect at, getting something exactly perfectly right, doing it at the speed that you want. Isn't that part of not just necessarily Parkinson's, but aging in general? Doesn't everybody deal with that at some point in their life
Yes, but we're dealing with it a lot sooner than anticipated.
than most? Yep.
yeah. I mean, I never thought at 48 I'd be wondering how I'm going to brush my teeth or wipe my ass.
Exactly.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're only 48.
Yeah, I got a
Melissa?
hat on. It makes me look different.
Melissa, not Mel. Your turn.
My turn.
Yeah, what won't you admit to yourself?
I'm still struggling with my limitations. I don't have a tree out. Well, because I haven't home. But I mean, I'm going around visiting everybody else that has trees up. I love them. Everybody's doing a great job. But I come home and it's like, I'm not putting a tree up. I don't want a tree.
Nope, I don't have a tree.
Nor do I.
I mean, I helped with the tree heist at my son's house, but I mean, they got a beautiful tree up, and I went over to a friend's house, and she's got a wonderful tree up. She's got 7 trees up in her house. Oh my God, I can't even get one tree up.
7?
And my uncle wants to put up a, I call it the old person tree, tabletop tree. He wants to put that up, but I don't want to. I want my big tree with my
Yeah.
ribbons and my bows and
Yeah,
everything I
exactly.
do.
Yeah.
I'm
The
really struggling
cute.
with that. Make me think, why
Yeah.
can't somebody just help me just do what I want to do? I just need to stick a
Yeah.
pair of hands, just come help me. And when I ask for help, because everyone says, Melissa, ask for help. I don't get help. And it's pissing me off. It is. So yeah, just being honest. So
No.
yeah, but
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Mel.
Um, admitting I need help.
I'm past
Yeah.
that. I just didn't get it.
I hate it.
It's hard. It is hard. It's very hard to ask for help when you're not used to it. You're used to
I
it
hate
yourself.
it. I hate it.
I know.
I have raised these girls by myself since conception, literally. Longer story. And now I'm like, I need help. It's hard. Not just that, but everything is hard. Everything is hard.
Mhm.
What? This kid just says dad's not coming back. Oh, well, he wasn't here in the first place. It's borrowed time.
Is he still getting cigarettes?
What?
Milk.
Is he getting milk? Milk.
She drew a picture the other day. I said, what is it? She said, that's my dad when he went out for milk. I was like, that's dark, kid. That's dark.
Wow.
It was funny as hell, though. I did laugh. I can't imagine where she got that sense of humor from.
I know, it's terrible. It's almost like she's a product of the environment she was raised
Weird.
in.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
that can't be a thing.
Jennifer.
Blake's
What?
doing spit takes up there.
See, my kids are funny
What?
too.
What are you having trouble the most to you coming to terms with or admitting to yourself?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty aware of everything. That how much I've changed, how the financial impact, the impact it has on my relationships. I think because I am so uh, blunt and no bullshit about everything. I don't. I think I'm pretty on. I think I'm pretty on the level with everything that's going on. But I know probably one thing that I choose not to look at is how it's affecting my friend relationships. I know how it's affecting my husband. I know how it's affecting my parents and my siblings, but every now and then I just get reflections of how it's affecting my best friend or, my really close people and having them watch me. And I only get that when I'm watching another friend with Parkinson's deteriorate. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this sucks to watch him go through all of that. And then I'm like, oh, wait, other people are watching me go through all of that. I'm aware of it and I know that it's there, but I just choose not to look at it as closely as I could. Because if I really think about it, and I'm tendency to, I had a friend tell me last February that it bothers her. That didn't go over well, but
My friend said something to me.
I mean, I'm just not open to that feedback. I'm really not. I'm sorry that my struggle is affecting you. But I could be less of a bitch about that and actually have that conversation with her. Yeah.
But I mean, if it's your friend, you would think they would put forth an effort to empathize or
Yeah, I try to open that door and have those conversations with her, but she's just like she shuts it down. That was like I mean, I've been friends with this
She
girl
feels
since
guilty.
junior high school, so I think
Yeah,
she doesn't want to put it back on me, you know. But
I had the same
it's
thing
out.
happen to me with a friend, and we've known each other since freshman year, and she has a hard time when I start slurring my words that she can't understand me, and she chooses not to come around, and she admitted it to me, and so when we talked about it, but
Mm,
she then felt horrible after she realized what she said to me,
yeah,
and I'm like, I
yeah.
just walked away because I can't
Hmm.
handle. I can handle the truth. That's fine. But my thing is these are friends that I've had forever, or
Yep,
like my family, people who you think have your back. And I
yep.
have family that's not like they don't talk, they don't want to have a conversation with me because they feel bad. They have
Hmm.
to say, "Can you repeat yourself?" I'm like, "I am okay with
Hmm.
that. Just don't ignore me.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm just feelings.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I'm
so
still in here. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
I
Steve,
get that.
that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, ask the question one more time.
what do you have, one thing that you have trouble admitting to yourself or coming to terms with?
That it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and I constantly have to. I tell myself all the time that it's a possibility it could like stall out at some point for some reason. This is as bad as it's going to get, but um, yeah, um, yeah, that it's only going to get worse. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, and the thought of I try not to think too much about it.
Mm.
I try to live in the moment.
Yeah,
And you know what? I really hate that saying. Let's live in the moment. Don't reflect on who you were or who
Yeah,
you're going to be. Just live for today. I'm just like, yeah, but
but
I
the
I know
the reason
I know
why
what's
I
coming.
moment it's just that it brings me down if I think too much about it.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with being prepared. It's
Yeah.
just uh, kind of like I'm perpetually a person who's a glass half empty kind of guy. Um, so is that right? I'm very pessimistic.
Yeah.
Yes, that was right.
So anyway, so that's it's kind of like a way to protect myself from
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a coping mechanism.
yeah
Yeah.
coping.
Yeah,
That
I mean, it's not necessarily bad in a way because you're focusing on the present.
yeah,
Hmm.
It's hard to think long term when you have Parkinson's. You
no,
know,
Hmm.
but one thing is like, yeah, it's gonna get worse, but we don't know how much worse, and we
nope.
don't know what. So like, if you focus on that every day, that it's gonna get worse, like you're really honestly
Hmm.
worrying about something that may or may not happen because there's so many.
Or not happening in the order that you're thinking about it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It may not, or it may never happen.
Yep.
So it's really not worth. Obviously, we're going to plan for the future and do the things that we need to do for ourselves. But you don't really need to think about the fact that this is exacerbating your mortality a bit. Like, you don't have to think about that every day because
Right.
maybe it's not.
Yep.
My eating habits are affecting my mortality, and I don't think about that.
Right.
No, I don't think most Americans don't.
Yeah.
Deep fried Oreos is that's going to affect your
Bacon
I'm talking
wrapped
about the bacon
Oreos.
wrapped
bacon
Oreos.
Oreos.
wrap. That's it.
What?
Oh, there's
Bacon wrapped
TikToks. Yes.
Oreo?
I'll mail you some. I'll bring them over when I come over.
Could you?
But
You're,
to
you're
answer the
potluck.
question, I struggle between thinking about it getting worse, how it's affecting the people around me, and the fact that I need help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Those are my three
yeah.
tough
yeah,
things
Yeah.
to process, which I just ignore, and it affects friendships and relationships.
Yeah.
yep,
I had over the summer. I had this overwhelming feeling of being Sisyphus for the rest of my life.
Being who?
Sisyphus.
Sisyphus.
Look it up.
Um,
pushing the
I can
boulder
tell.
up the hill over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, for the rest of my
Top
life, I'm
comes
always
back.
going to be pushing this boulder up a hill, always. And
It,
there might be plateaus, and I could take a rest every now and then, but I'm always going to be
Yeah,
carrying this boulder of Parkinson's for the rest of
it's
my
we
life.
all are.
Atlas, Sisyphus, and Damocles all mixed together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all are. Damocles. Oh, that's a good one.
Mm.
Just hanging over your head, that sword.
Yep.
Nice.
It's just, I focus on, what I can give back to everybody, inspiring speeches, and we can do it, and we can fight back, and, I
Right.
Well,
I'm busting knuckles at the gym, but, taking my pills on time. I'm doing all of the things, but all of the things just aren't ever going to be good enough.
No.
They're going to maintain, and they're not going to, there's nothing I can do.
Well, it's like
There's nothing I can do.
Erica said before. There is no treatment
Right,
for Parkinson's.
right,
it's management.
There's management.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And that's one of my
Since we're
big
doing-
things.
here, I mean,
And you can't
Since
take
we're doing,
in it because if you do, you throw yourself off for the entire week.
right.
I
Show
wish
hands.
doctors would use the word management instead of treating Parkinson's.
Right.
Who actually, in their heart of hearts, believes that they'll see a cure in our lifetime.
I did tell you I was a glass half empty kind of guy, right?
Right.
It's not reasonable.
There's a part of me that I don't know.
See, here's the thing. I don't see a cure.
Like when you're
Not a
when you're
cure.
by yourself,
I
you
used-
believe it's
to think-
happening.
I used to think there was going to be a cure, but no. I don't think there's going to be a cure, but I think there's going to be something significant.
Yes, I agree with that.
I believe there'd be better management of the disease than there is now in my lifetime.
Treatment or a breakthrough, yes, but I don't think that just based on the way that the approval system goes here in the U.S. Like,
Mhm.
if they decide that stem cells is the way to go, it's 8 to 10 years before it rolls out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 8 to 10 years before.
If we're lucky.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Another country's going to have the cure first.
yeah. Well, they do. They do have the care. That's the problem. They've been using focus ultrasound for 8 years in Switzerland. We just got it here, and it's not even the same one, and it's not even and it's not even bilateral. It's only unilateral right now.
And actually, Japan has been doing human trials with stem cells since for like the last.
Everybody uses stem cells more than we do.
I mean, there was the whole big thing about they sent all these proteins up in the space shuttle or to the ISS to figure out how to grow these proteins that we need for our brains to come back because they would grow faster there. And anybody heard that was 4 years ago? Anybody heard anything about that?
No.
Problem is that there's no money in here.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So they'll come up with something that takes all your symptoms away, but you got to keep paying every month just to have that luxury.
Yeah, you got it.
Exactly. You
$2
got it.
billion for the U.S. Parkinson's disease in the U.S. costs $52 billion a year.
Mhm.
People are like, I don't want people to get food stamps because it costs me money. No, sweetheart. You don't want people to get Parkinson's disease.
Right.
Forget about social welfare programs. Like, that's going to cost you shit, 19 cents on the dollar. Like, you don't want to pay for Parkinson's disease. You don't want to pay for Alzheimer's. You don't want to pay for ALS. Like, forget about all that other piddly stuff, which I personally couldn't care less. But, it's just, the way that our pharmaceutical system is run is so incredibly corrupt, and it's bad. And the trial testings and stuff like that are outrageous. So,
But in the same hand, we say that we all grew up in the age, or well, yeah, we all grew up in the area where AIDS was a pandemic.
Yeah.
And there's where we can say that it's no longer a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Parkinson's is going to be a pandemic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't begin to understand your healthcare system in the U.S., but
We don't either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, someone does?
I watched a video about this young couple. This girl, she was probably mid-20s, had hernia surgery, and her bill at the end of it was $86,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But her insurance,
That's with insurance.
denied,
Mm-hmm.
so they lowered it to a self-pay model at $9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So, I used to work for a hospital. I did pediatric critical care transport. I drove a doc, a nurse, and a respiratory therapist to go pick up kids at other hospitals and bring them to the children's hospital. When I became close with a lot of families, but one family used to call me Mr. 3000, because just for me to drive there, pick up the kid, and come back without any treatment, any meds, it was $3,000.
Yeah, that's why people drive themselves to the hospital
Yeah,
after a
it's
car
almost
accident.
$1,000 for an ambulance.
Oh no, this was coming from because they'd go to the hospital and the hospital didn't have children's services, so we'd have to go pick them up to bring them to our children's hospital. It wasn't even the 911 service. This was after they got to the hospital. It was $3,000.
Transport only.
Transport
Yeah,
only.
Blake, have you ever heard of like life flight insurance?
What is it?
Life flight insurance. That you basically buy insurance in case you ever have to have a life flight helicopter flight.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, we'll get dinged for an ambulance ride if you call the ambulance to take you to the hospital. But yeah, what is it like? Between like between like $50 and $80. But if we have to be life flighted, that's covered.
Shit.
Wow.
I want to be happy for you, Blake, but I'm really just mad. Really, that's just.
Here they just like hit you with the paddles and they're like, "Do you have a credit card?"
We do. It's not that bad. Come on.
Wipe
I
the
can't
defib
be.
machine.
No, it is. It is.
My hip surgery was like upwards of like $60,000.
Wow.
You know, like, I mean, you know, this thing's not bionic.
I know. Can you imagine if it was though?
Oh, it'd be
That'd be
fantastic.
I
So
gotta-
now, nice.
Buzz.
I'm making tea.
So, what's damn it! I had the question earlier and I lost it. Shit.
Blame the Parkinson's. Just blame it for everything.